Good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the request body annotation from Spring Boot. The request body annotation in Spring Boot is used to bind the request body to a Java object. Basically, we access JSON or XML data in Spring Boot. For that one, we need to create a bean so that will behave like through bean we will capture the data, and with the request body annotation we will access those params. So here in this page I'm using postman tool, so I'm sending user data over postman tool. I'm sending name equal to apple, email equal to some email id steve at apple.com. So the content type is like a JSON. Basically, the JSON I'm sending through Postman or backend any service, I'm accessing or receiving at Spring Boot by using a request body annotation. So for that one, what I'm doing actually, I have created a Spring Boot's REST controller class. That class is annotated with REST controller, and I'm using get mapping, means I'm passing user data. So forward slash user should be called, and the JSON I'm sending through Postman. Here I'm accessing with user dot get name, user dot get email ID. If you look at, I'm using REST controller is another annotation, get mapping is another annotation, and post mapping means this data I'm getting over post, HTTP post. So this get mapping is nothing but for the URL that we use, and it's a REST controller. Means I'm accessing a web service data through HTTP as a JSON. So here if you look at user, I have name and email, get name, get email ID. I'm not setting anything. I'm just capturing the data. So I'm just using getters only. So this bean will map it to a JSON fields properties. Name should be equal. This field should be equal with the JSON name and email. That's very important. Mm, yes, let's create a project and see how it will work. Let's create a project. Request body JSON example. I use languages Java, Maven project, JDK23, var file. Next, we need to use web because we are using REST controller annotation. So that is there in this particular startup. Let's go for latest Spring Boot version. Create this window. Let me add dev tools. I don't want to restart server for each change. Let it automatically upload the changes. So let me create a bean. User. You should have two things. String name, string email. Yeah, perfect. So let me put as private. Okay, and let's generate getters only. applicators. We don't need setters. Perfect. Let me create a controller. Controller. Already with REST controller. Perfect. Get mapping. Well, request mapping should be request mapping. So I want to call this service as user. So what I will do, let's create a method. Create user. Perfect. So I'm okay. So here I'm getting user data. This being data. So okay, well, let's say public string sys out user created. Okay, sys out user dot get say name. Perfect. So no enough string. I'm not returning anything. So okay, I'm printing a message as user created. I'm accessing those name and email ID. So what I will do, it should be post mapping. Okay, post mapping, and here we should use request body. Means user is we are getting through request body annotation. And there are few things we should say, like let me say value equal to, if you put value or no value, same thing here. Then consumer, this is very important because I'm telling I mean, in the Spring Boot level, we are configuring that, yeah, we are getting application JSON. Straight away, we can use something like media type also. Media type dot application. Okay, let's import this guy. Okay, application. Where is this guy? It should be available at. Let me import org dot spring framework http dot media. Yes, media type dot. Yes, this is one. You can hard code as JSON, but I'm using the available variable here. So okay, so this should be REST controller. We need to pass users, not users, should be user. Media type is JSON. Yeah, I'm getting JSON. So what I will do, let's run this guy. Okay. Okay, started at 8080. We need to pass name and email ID. Okay. Go to Postman. Yeah, here is the Postman. 8080. 8080 localhost. User. See, name, Apple, email ID, think jobs at apple.com. Yeah, here I'm displaying Apple and email ID. So this is the Apple, this is the email ID. Let's send something like Bill Gates, Bill at Microsoft Microsoft. I'm not displaying anything here. I'm just capturing the data and displaying here. So this is how you should use request body. Means we are capturing the JSON from web services call, which is coming as a JSON. Now, with the same request body annotation, access XML data. So what I'm doing in the Postman, I'm punching sending the same URL as post localhost 8080 user, and here data type I changed as XML and I'm sending XML data user name email. So here same thing, no change at accessing the REST controller, everything is same, but we should be using this consumer type that I will add in the code. Bean level no change. The only difference, two differences, we need to add this XML. If you do not add this XML, I mean, if you do not add this dependency in the Maven, it will Spring assume that we need to capture JSON. By default, the media type is JSON. If you put this media type, I mean, dependency as XML means Spring expect the input as XML. So you have to add this dependency for XML. If you don't put this XML, Spring assume the input type is JSON. This is one change, and consumer we need to add here as XML. So these two things we change and access XML from the code. So this is our code. What we will use application underscore XML. Do you have anything? Yeah, this is the XML. Let's see. XML perfect. Okay, one change is done. And yes, I have added this change. Jackson data format XML. Two things you need to do it. Let me save. No need to restart. DevTool should automatically takes care of the latest changes, but I did the restart. Yes. Here is the Postman URL. Method type is post, sending name and email. Perfect. No output. Let's go here. Yes. User created Anand. Let's do one thing. Java at example.com. Yeah. So this is how we should use request body annotation for XML and JSON. Thank you very much.